Thank you, Madam Chair and Vice Chair. And thank you all for being here with us today in your service. Secretary Blinken, I heard your response to Senator Collins' question on fentanyl. I come from the state that has the largest amount of overdose deaths per capita than any other state in the union, and a lot of this is directly attributable to fentanyl. What I heard in your answer was highly insufficient because I don't have the impression that we're pressing hard enough. I don't know. We were in Mexico about a month ago, talking to the president there to try to help with that. You said things going on the border. We all know that this drug is flowing across our southern border. Can you give me a better answer here and give us some hope that we can really clamp down on this illicit killer of a drug?
Thank you very much, Senator. And first of all, let me be very clear that I could not agree with you more on the imperative of this challenge. As you know very well, this is the #1 killer of Americans aged 18 to 49.
Right.
And as we also know, last year we seized enough fentanyl to kill every single American. That's what we seized. There's obviously a lot more out there. So this is at the very top of our priority list. What I was trying to suggest earlier is that we have to deal with this, and we are across the entire spectrum of the issue, by which I mean this. There's obviously work that we're doing that's very significant in terms of what's happening here at home, including demand, treatment, recovery. That's a critical component. I was just in Denver visiting the, among other things, the police department of the City Summit of the Americas. We brought together 250 mayors from across our hemisphere. One of the things we focused on was fentanyl synthetic opioids, precisely because this is a problem that's coming to them as it's already come to us. The border is obviously critically important. The most important thing is this: 95% of the fentanyl that's coming into the United States from across the border is coming through legal ports of entry, as best we can tell. That means that the technology, among other things, that we need to get to our border to screen for this, which we're doing, is a critical component. Mexico, you could not be more right, a vital, necessary partner in this. Now, I've spent, more important, President Biden has spent many hours with President Lopez Obrador on this issue. And I would say that we've seen both a glass half full and a glass half empty. Glass half full, we saw record levels of seizures of fentanyl by Mexican authorities last year. We've seen far more people dedicated to trying to interdict the fentanyl, to break up the labs, et cetera. We now have a cooperation agreement with them that goes not just to law enforcement, but that also goes to their regulatory agencies. This is a critical component. But clearly, more effort and more resources need to be dedicated. Finally, the broad picture. Sorry to
the China part.
Yes. So as we were discussing before, the critical piece of this right now is the diversion of illicit precursors, actually illicit precursors that turn into illicit fentanyl. And right now, China is or Chinese entities are the leading producers. Are you communicating
with them now?
We are
every
communicating
day on
every
this?
single engagement. I think I can say that without fear of contradiction. I think every single engagement that I have had with a Chinese counterpart.
When was your last engagement?
Last engagement was in Munich. This is a couple of months ago.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the only one. Every official that we have who's engaged with China, including officials in my department, this is at the top of the agenda. So we have one of two ways that this is going to work. Either we are going to elicit genuine cooperation from China on this, and as I said earlier, there's going to be a growing global demand for that cooperation, because the problem that started here, as you know, is moving around the world. So we are building, you'll see in a few weeks, a coalition of countries coming together to work together on dealing with synthetic opioids, notably fentanyl. So that demand signal is going to grow stronger and stronger. In the absence, though, of the cooperation, we have already sanctioned a number of Chinese enterprises and entities for engaging in the transfer of precursors for fentanyl.
We know if we can stop the ingredients from getting to where they're produced, much less the pill presses that I didn't realize China is now sending into Mexico. If you look at methamphetamine, when it first came on to the drug scene probably 20 years ago, what did our state governments do? Our state, stopped the flow of Sudafed. You had to get it behind the counter because that was one of the ingredients. And guess what? It worked. Mm-hmm. If you can get rid of the ingredients, you can
you're
really
exactly right.
make a huge difference here. So
You're exactly
whatever
right.
we can do, I think it's just horrifying what we see happening. Well, I understand we have a demand issue. I understand we need to work on prevention. That stuff we can do and will do. But I would just press you, and I know you're pressing hard, but we just got to press harder here because this is a national disaster.
I
Thank you.
share your concern. Thank you.